Josh Denning here, the Tropical Entrepreneur, and welcome back to Wicked Offer Creation Wednesday, episode 2. As promised last week, I said we'd dive a little deeper into the offer control framework, and we're going to have a look at some other elements of what goes into an offer. So last week we had a look at the core elements of an offer, which is of course going into your product, the consumer, the solution, circumstance, superior features, benefits, etc. Permanent distinction, promised land, all those kinds of things. This week I want to have a look at the story. So one thing that a lot of people don't realize with an offer is one of the most important things is actually the backstory and the reasoning, like why behind there's a product, who the person is behind the product, what the event is behind the product, all these kinds of things, particularly in marketing anyhow. It becomes a little bit different when you're selling face-to-face or in a consult or that kind of thing. It's more about asking questions and getting to know about the user. But once you're in a face-to-face environment or an over-the-phone environment, someone's much more educated. They're very close to making a buying decision. When you're marketing, it's much different. You actually have to really, get them into the story, get them buying into the whole scenario, get them to understand why this product exists. And a huge part of that is this element, which is positioning, which is the story. So the elements that go into the story are the character, and we'll break these down in a second a little bit more. The setting, the event, the expectation, complication, the discovery, and the key message. So in a sense, this is the avatar that's going through this, but it also may be you. It could be the customer, or it could be someone else, or it could be an alter ego. So in this case, because marketing and this area of business and internet entrepreneurship is my core area. Whenever it's your core area, you want all the stories and everything that use the events to be really true. Like, you want them to be absolutely correct. If you're going into niche markets and things like that, then it gets more okay to use alter egos and things like that. So this is actually for a membership program that I'm laying out. That'll be my long-term membership site, which will come out not too far down the track. And that, I guess, please comment or drop some ideas below and what you'd like to see in that. But I just want to quickly run you through the character, the setting, and the event, the expectation, and some of these other elements. Just being mindful of time, and we'll dive into some of the others next week. So the character, tropical entrepreneur, previous world-leading expert, digital marketing agency guy, turned laid-back tropical entrepreneur. That's obviously me. Making more money than ever and working way less, plus having much more fun. The guy that represents doing business from a hammock, drinking coconuts, and making giant profits without doing much work. Kind of like the lazy surfer dude. I'm the lazy, occasionally very hardworking, super cool, super trendy, super smart marketing tropical dude. So that's the character, that's the persona, that's who people are going to be engaging with in this membership site, in this community, and that's me, and that's what I want to convey. The setting. So I was tired of working for digital agencies that didn't care about doing the best possible thing for their clients. They used my cutting edge information for their own business, but not for the clients. This made me quite furious. In fact, it spiraled into the events of me leaving behind 15% equity. It was actually 10% equity in a $10 million a year business. So this setting is true. It's absolutely 100% correct. However, it allows people to really get to connect to me and understand who I am and decide whether or not that's something that they feel they can bond with. And look, your setting doesn't have to be this, gregarious and amazing. This is an unusual circumstance. It happens to be my circumstance. But you can relate that setting to anything. The setting could be a time when you were you had all this money and then you lost it all. Or it could be when you were broke and destitute, or it could be that you made this amazing discovery that's led to something. Really, you can make even just normal life circumstances. You're absolutely frustrated with your boss and you just can't stand it anymore. Those kinds of things can be a setting. So let's have a look at the event. Josh Denning, the tropical entrepreneur, leaves behind 15% equity in a $10 million a year business because he's jacked off with them using his cutting edge information for themselves but not for the clients. Josh realizes that 95% of digital marketing agencies are just used car salesmen that are in the game for themselves and not for the customer. This sees Josh become more and more dismayed and turn against the digital agencies more and more. So this is a typical us versus them scenario, again using completely real situation which allows bonding to happen. to the point where I pull away all my knowledge and systems and leave the agencies behind, decide to pursue my dream of moving to Thailand to live the life of a tropical entrepreneur, start to help people in positive, powerful, genuine ways. And there's a scenario, and then it moves on to the next thing. Josh is antagonized by the digital marketing agency to the point that he just can't stand it anymore. All the while, he senses a calling to move into the training, coaching, consulting world. He sees people in that world that are really trying hard to help people, and many of them could just use his more polished, more professional, more experienced corporate marketing skills in the digital sector. And deserve it a lot more than the kind of greedy digital agencies do. So this is really looking at the event that's happened, that have carried out to see me get to this point, to wanting to create this community, and why I'm kind of doing this, and why would someone with all my skills start to share this kind of expertise in normal IM world. So the expectation, years before, I totally expected to grow an incredible career in the marketing agency business, which I did, rising to the very top of the industry as an Asia Pacific sales and SEO managing director. I totally expected them to do the right thing, to grow great client relationships, to produce awesome work, and to build an amazing brand that I've been part of for a very long time. So much so that I gave 12 years of my life to agencies, and the last 3 years as a director of one of the biggest agencies. So what this is also doing is also positioning my expertise, and that's one of the important things of the storyline. And what this might be kind of looking like, it's only just an information product, but even if we go and look at things like the Lamborghini, we know that there's the story of the Lamborghini approach to Enzo Ferrari, and he had this great car. He'd been a tractor salesman, he wanted to engineer this fabulous car. And Enzo knocked him back, so he went and spent all this time and built a car and engineered something that became arguably potentially an engineering amazement that's even a little bit better than the Ferrari. So this works even in consumer products, particularly when you're looking at premium products. And if you're working in more normal type products that may not essentially have to be premium, and you're doing this, a lot of your competitors won't be. So this can really separate the real players from just the people that are playing at a more basic level, and that translates into sales and revenue. And then we go into things of the complication, the discovery, and the key message. Being mindful of time, I think we'll leave it at that. And next week we'll go into the complication, the discovery, and the key messaging, which are also really important elements of the story. If you like this video, as always, please share it. Please let me know in your comments what you thought of the video. Drop them in below, and look forward to seeing you next week in Wicked Offer Creation Wednesday, episode 3.